The speed of the flash. Not talking about this comic superhero either. We're talking about the speed of that flash right there. So, up at the top, you're going to see some numbers here on the flash. This is in TTL mode. See it where it says 10 feet? All right, well, if I draw this in, let's say I take the lens and bring it in. So shall the numbers on the actual flash. It auto adjusts. So now it can sense, and I drew that in. It says, oh wait, 6 foot away, there must be something to flash. And then when I expand it out, it says, whoa, you're way back here, so it must be 10 feet away. So the flash is judging the distance. Well, that's good and bad in my sense. I like to say manual mode now, because I had to put it in TTL mode for you to understand that the flash doesn't make the best decisions. After all, I could have that lens completely out, and the object isn't 10 feet away. I just want to get some detail. So now what happens is we have this little feature. Let me try to zoom in here and not have my thumb in the way. We have this, the select. I'm going to select and I can get this. Right now it says 2 foot away, right? All right, well, in this term, 1/32, this is the fastest flash out. This lights the light bulb very quickly, enough where it goes out very quickly too. Because believe it or not, if I have this stronger, let's say I have something like this, where I go select, and I start raising this up. You can see I can get pretty high, then it goes back. So here's 10 feet, and it says 1 to 1. So 10 feet away. That means that's going to be the strongest flash no matter what. That's pretty bright. And just to give you a general idea of what that looks like, let's go into Lightroom for a second. And let's also turn this on autofocus. There we go. Let's take a shot. All right. That's what I get. I get those spinning dots, but the spinning dots are definitely not stopped in any manner. Let's go back. Let's lower this down to something else. Let's go to select and lower it down to something like 2 feet away. Okay. Let's go back to Lightroom and take a shot. Now the dots are stopped, but the scene is too dark. And if I went to go in here and, like, let's say adjust that in some manner, I can show you that the dots are actually stopped. Let me go into develop and launch some fill light into the scene. See? Stop dots. So by having a faster flash, it stops things in motion faster. But it doesn't offer enough light to actually light the scene. So you have to know this. You have to kind of judge what your lights are going to be. You're changing your lights at this point. You're not changing the settings on the camera. All right, so let's go back. Let's go in and select this and go halfway. Let's go about 4 or 5 feet away and then take a shot. And this is direct, by the way. This is not diffused. Stop dots. Good. We successfully stopped something in motion. That is going pretty fast. And I would say it does have a little bit of light, but check out this. This is our histogram. And our histogram says that we have too much dark. So if I page over the top of these, this right here, I have all this dark. Now if I went to launch some fill light into the scene, you can see I can start pushing the histogram over. And now if I mouse over the top of this, I only have areas that are blown out in certain regions, and they're very small. They're behind the actual, right in this area here. Okay. Now we're shooting in RAW. That means we have the power and control to be able to do that. We can shoot something that's relatively dark and then later on touch it up using fill. At what cost though? Well, we get a little bit of a noise relationship here, and the noise is a costly thing. We can go in and try to take noise out using the noise reduction filter. And that does a pretty good job. Sometimes it gets a little cartoony though, and you lose detail. So your job now is to think of, what are you going to lose? Are you going to lose motion? Are you going to lose clarity? Are you going to lose sharpness? So many decisions to make. As soon as you talk about taking something off a tripod, you're thinking all kinds of different factors here. I'm going to add a little bit more light to the scene via the flash, and we'll take one more shot. And this time I'm talking about 7 feet away, or 6.7 feet away on my flash. Okay, so I'll just take a shot. I'll use this thing right here. Much better. Certainly I have a lot of dark, but look at this. When I mouse over the top of it, it's not the whole scene that's blue. It's only the areas of the darkest darks. So when I go to develop this and add just a little bit of fill light to it, I'm not killing every pixel in here. Okay, and the noise ratio is a little bit lower, and I can reduce that noise down and offer some sharpness, but not too much, just enough. So there we go. We can see these little crumbs on the table. That's always a good sign. We don't want them there, but other than that, we stop the dots. There's no motion blur whatsoever. And we got some good clarity. Now I want you to experiment with this a little bit before we go on to the next video.